Welcome, everybody. Listen, if you hung out waiting for this, I just want you to know you will not regret it, because today, this is a special edition of Building Stuff with Nova. I'm live and direct at the Sullenberger Aviation Museum. I'm telling you, you can see right now as Dodge is behind the camera showing everything around us. We're about to see some really cool stuff as we walk through the evolution of aviation. But let me tell you really quick, for those who do not know, this is the place that we like to refer to as, let's say your virtual makerspace, if you will, your ideation laboratory. This is the mastermind where myself, you, everybody here on Twitch, we can hang out and we can build together. This is Building Stuff with Nova. We've been doing this every day right here on Twitch. And today, I have the pleasure of collaborating with a vet, y'all, a veteran Twitch streamer, goes by the name of Dodge Valdez. Dodge, can you say hey to the people? That's his thumb.
I'm behind the camera right now. I can turn it around real quick.
Around, see the people.
Wow, that light's bright.
Yes.
Right over there. I'm back behind the camera today.
Y'all show some love to Dodge. He's been doing this for a while. And there, I just want you to know, I'm going to say in front of everyone, there's no way we could have done this without Dodge and the mods and Kevin. Shout out to everybody here, because we are on a virtual field trip that I enjoy. Now, I already said the name of the place. This is the Sullenberger Aviation Museum. Captain Sully. And I'll tell you what, we actually have our own captain that's going to of Dynasty onto the stream right now.
Hi, guys.
Show some love. Put some emotes in the chat. I need some exclamation points. So put some fire. Put everything you can.
Yes, fire emojis.
Fire emojis, because we did a pre-show already. We already got her some handle names, because she's going to be on here pretty soon.
Right.
But today, in your brand new Twitch stream debut, you're going to do what with us today? What are you going to do?
I will be giving you guys a tour of our space of Sullenberger Aviation Museum, so you can get a glimpse of what it looks like to come here and actually have a field trip, a virtual field trip at Sullenberger Aviation Museum.
Yes, a virtual field trip. And speaking of virtual field trips, it was a whole journey just to get a park here. I was just trying to get in here. That's why the delay was there. It felt sort of like I was in my own escape room. And I'm going to tell you why I say escape room.
Okay.
Because for those who don't know, we're going to tell you really quick. Let me plug this. We have a finale that's going to take place at the end of this season of Building Stuff with Nova. At the end of October, we're going to be hosting our very own 4-day engineering themed escape room.
Wow.
Yeah, have you done escape rooms before?
I have, and I love them. They're amazing. Yeah.
Yes, they are amazing. And so we are going to drop in the chat right now. Shout out to Nova for dropping an application link where we are opening up opportunity for someone to actually join us for the finale.
Wow.
We're going to select someone, fly them to Boston where it will be hosted.
Whoa.
They're going to be in a hotel. You're going to meet yours truly. You're going to hang out with Nova, and you're going to help save the world from the hazards of Y3K. That's our theme, Dynasty. Y3K.
Nice.
Yes. So right now, look in the chat. If you haven't seen the link, look at the link. We're going to close it. The deadline is September 27th. And that is going to be an escape room, much like the escape room that I felt when I was trying to get to the museum.
Yes.
All right, but without further ado, Dynasty, what are we going to see first as we now are looking at this huge sign? Innovation Nation. What does that speak to?
Yes, so that speaks to a large portion of our museum, of our gallery. So we have two main themes in our gallery, and one is in the making that will be in a future location. But Innovation Nation highlights all of the innovations that help build aviation to this day. So we'll talk and learn more about, pioneers like the Wright brothers, and talk about, how we got to supersonic flight, and even also a part of that story, Flight 1549, and so much more. And then we'll move over to another theme called Aviation Society, where we'll highlight more about the Carolinas, in particular, the society behind aviation in itself.
Yes, because if you didn't know, our license plates say First in Flight.
First in Flight.
Yes, we're in the beautiful city of Charlotte, North Carolina, the Queen City.
Yep, Queen
City. I took a drive, a nice little road trip down from Raleigh, the capital city. And so now we're still being in this great state of North Carolina. And we're going to talk about why that's so significant and why we even have that First in Flight on our license tag.
Right.
All right. So if y'all are ready to go, we can get moving here in a little bit.
Yeah.
And on our tour. So what are we gonna look at first?
We're going to start actually right here in this location. So we're going to turn a little bit around, and I'm going to highlight, like I said, the pioneers in aviation. So the Wright brothers. A lot of people don't know too much that the Wright brothers were, before becoming, the pioneers of flight, that flight was thought of before. They weren't the only ones to ever think of flying, but they were the first to sustain a powered flight, and they did it in North Carolina. Kitty Hawk, North Carolina.
Yes, you all are here virtually.
Yes.
Kitty Hawk.
Right. So we're not in Kitty Hawk, but we are in North Carolina, and we highlight the story of the Wright brothers here. We have 3 replicas of their creations in our gallery. We have a Wright glider, which is above us right here, and then also a Wright flyer, which is further back this way. And then our last replica that we have of the Wright brothers is their wind tunnel that they would have used back in their time.
I got the right one, right?
Yes, you did.
The Wright glider.
The glider?
I
Flyer.
can't fit the Wright flyer
That's
in the
okay.
frame.
And guess what? If you can't fit it in the frame, we also have a mirror in the gallery. We can actually show it by looking down. So these are called our look-up mirrors. So this is another way we allow it to be accessible for all of our guests to be able to look at aircraft without having, break their necks by looking up.
There we go.
So yeah, that's the Wright flyer.
I love it.
And
Now you said power. I had a quick question.
Yeah.
Powered flight happened
yeah.
here.
Yes.
But these gliders are not powered flyers, are they?
No. So the glider was not. They did put an engine inside of the flyer, so that allowed it to have that power.
Eventually,
but,
okay.
Yeah, eventually.
But first it was just kind of gliding.
They had to build up into that. Yep. So speaking of engineering, the Wright brothers were also pioneers in aeronautical engineering by thinking of how we can use things like a wind tunnel and testing out over 200 different wing shapes before they got the right one. So going through that design process was big for the Wright brothers, and now it's used in aviation to this day.
Is this a replica wind tunnel?
This is a replica.
Okay.
So these are our only replicas that we have in the gallery. Everything else you see was once operated and used in its time. But these are replicas that have been built to showcase the story of the Wright brothers.
Gotcha. This looks like something I could build in my garage.
You probably could. This is a wind tunnel. So we actually have wind tunnel, like actual one that guests can use, and we'll stop by that later on. You can actually test out different paper creations and see how it can fly. And we also have a wind tunnel in our makerspace as well, so you'll see that as well.
Guest access to the wind tunnel.
Yes. And by the way, shout out to Nova, who normally drops our facts in the chat. Nova, go ahead and drop like the definition of a wind tunnel so that everyone who's watching this, they can know what it's all about. And again, to be able to look at an actual replica of what the Wright brothers used when they were using the wind tunnel, it's astonishing. So all this was recreated, and now you have this natural, I guess this is the starting point of flight.
Yes, of flight, where we begin the story of innovation.
Then
we continue the story as well by highlighting from the Wright brothers how about 40 years after the Wright brothers, we had another big breakthrough in aviation and engineering. So if you hear that noise, that's the background, the film.
We'll
get to that.
The video. They don't stop for us, guys. They
keep going.
It's an active facility. Like, this is part of the show.
Right, exactly.
Yes. But in this area, we also highlight NACA, which was the predecessor to the name before NASA, which you guys might know about. And we highlight the story of how researchers, engineers, test pilots all played a part in helping us reach supersonic flight. So if you know what supersonic is, drop that in the chat.
Drop that in the chat. Supersonic, another good vocab or terminology, right?
Right, exactly. So we highlight their story here along this edge, right on that side of the wind tunnel. And then we also have an aircraft, 1 out of 3 aircraft created by NACA, which we have in our gallery right here, called the Sky Streak.
This is the Sky?
This is the Sky Streak, yeah.
Sky Streak.
I got the right plane, right?
Yes.
And so this is power.
Right.
I always have to make sure I'm pointing at the right plane.
Right. Das is killing it right now. So this is powered flight.
Yes. So this is talking about how we got to the research needed to reach supersonic flight. So this aircraft played a huge role in us being able to eventually reach supersonic flight. The researchers behind it, the NACA nuts, the brain busters, the women computers, they all played a role in aviation and even us reaching the moon eventually with space exploration.
So that's a huge jump right there. So we saw from the Wright brothers all the way to supersonic flight, which is faster than the speed of sound.
Right.
I don't know if everybody dropped that in the chat, but there are obviously a lot of iterations that we know about engineering, like a lot of processes, trial and error, a lot of like, hey, let's test this, let's see how it goes.
Exactly.
Something we talked talk a lot about here on Building Stuff with Nova in this process.
Yes.
So
exactly.
after we got from the Wright brothers, what was like the next step?
From the Wright brothers?
Yeah.
So a lot of aviation started thinking of being accessible. So people wanted to fly, even if they really didn't know how. So they became enthusiasts of aviation. And we highlight, personal flights that people took and personal aircraft that people had that they were using in order to fly. But this was the next big thing that happened in aviation as far as like reaching super fast flight and allowing us to get, reaching past the speed of sound. Because before that, with flying this Wright Flyer, you can't fly super fast, so it will allow you to get somewhere, but not super far. And especially with war increasing, having the need for being more competitive as a nation, we needed to learn how to be more competitive. So
Doss, would you fly in that Flyer if we strapped you up?
I'd fly in any of these. That'd be good.
All right, Dynasty. So which way are we going to go around though?
All right, so we're going to go around this way. I actually want to highlight some cool technology we have in our gallery. So. We have all of these iPads. So you see we have 9 in total throughout our gallery. So when you do come to the museum, you'll notice an iPad like this sitting around. Pick it up, and then you'll see a logo that says Scan Me. So what you want to do with that, kind of like a QR code.
It's a camera on the other side.
Yeah, it's a camera on the other side. You'll scan down, and it should highlight it. Let's go. Technology sometimes.
Come on, act with us today.
We know how that goes today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it tells us, it's supposed to tell like a story behind it?
Yeah, so I'll tell you more about it. So when you do scan it, when it does want to scan, it will allow you to see a logo on different aircraft. And when you match up that logo with the screen, the outline on the screen, it will tell you the name of the aircraft, different things about the aircraft.
The video on loop.
It'll tell you different things about the aircraft, like for instance, what type of engine it uses. Maybe if you want to learn more facts about it, you can pictures of it maybe flying or different things in that nature. So we have 9 in total, and you can highlight any aircraft in the gallery, whether depending on which iPad you have. So 3 or 4 different aircraft will be on each iPad.
We're going to try every one as we go around. We're going to pick up every one and try to scan it.
Yes.
Look, there's one over there. Look, we should go try to scan this one.
Okay, yeah, let's do this one. And we can talk about the F4 Phantom while we're scanning it. So
the F4 Phantom.
Please work.
Military plane?
That one was
yes.
Good.
All right.
So now it lifts off.
It said lift off.
Yeah. And the cool thing is you can actually click this red box and see what type of aircraft you can explore. So this one can explore 5 different aircraft in total. And the one we're going to scan is the F4 Phantom.
That's the logo?
2. Yep. So I scanned the logo.
Wow.
And now it tells me the name of the aircraft. I can see what type of engine this aircraft has. 2 General Electric.
It's augmented reality.
Right, AR.
It
so
is.
really nice
AR
tablet.
tablet. Yeah. And then even learning about different measurements, like
measurements
the
of the wingspan,
things of that nature.
Yeah.
So, and then another fun fact about the F4 Phantom 2 is that Captain Sullenberger actually was an F4 pilot when he was in the Air Force. So we highlight his story here as well.
Captain Sullenberger, again, this is the namesake of this museum.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about the event, right? That's sort of like the central core of the museum. And we haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah.
So shout out to Captain Sully.
Yes.
If Captain Sully, anybody knows Captain Sully out there? Shout out to Captain Sully. Hey, this looks like it's driven a lot by like war and like the arms race of trying to combat in the air.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so that's what this section is all about?
Yeah, and we highlight, different features because this was the first multi-role aircraft used in the military. So we highlight the engineering behind each aircraft. You can actually see about different things it has, like radar, and also, having, a certain type of engine that allows it to move at the speed it does. So learning about that definitely plays a huge role.
Incredible. And then you got satellites here.
Yeah, so this is the F4 radar that would typically be in the nose, but we took it out so guests can actually see what it looks like.
That's inside of so that's how communications took place.
Exactly.
And then there's the seat here, the ejection seat.
That's the ejection seat.
Oh, man, I think about all those movies.
Right,
Right, all of those what is the movie that's really big? Top Gun.
Top Gun,
the whole series of Top Gun. That's what this reminds me of.
Speaking of Top Gun, we actually have an F-14. We'll stop by that later on too.
F-14. Yes.
We're going to make our way over this way.
Okay. And while we're making our way, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll take a moment. Daz, you'll keep an eye every now and then. I know he's doing a lot right now. He has like 5 arms. He has like 5 arms right now. You can't see him behind the camera. He's holding the camera, holding everything else. But if we have an opportunity, we'll see if we can take a question here and there. But just feel free to drop it in the
I'll
chat.
see what I can do. I may need Kevin to help me out with that, or Nova to help me out with that.
Yeah, all right.
We'll stop by this aircraft briefly.
Ooh,
so this is the A7 Corsair 2 that we have in our gallery.
Wow.
And the cool thing about this, one of the specs that's really cool, is that it was the first aircraft equipped with the heads-up display. So we actually have the heads-up display sitting outside of the aircraft, so you can see more about it and how that worked and how it helped this aircraft achieve more in competition in different operations such as Desert Storm.
So this is a really cool piece of technology because basically it's reflecting different information on that glass there.
Right.
And I can see right there how it's projecting up there, so it allows excuse me.
I'm going sideways because you can see the angles. Like if you get on the side, you can see the angles.
So you can see how the I guess maybe there's a projector there at the bottom, projecting up on the glass.
Exactly.
And that allows the pilot to kind of
be able to see right in front of them.
in front of them and still see where they're going.
Exactly.
Oh man, I need one of these for my Honda.
Yes. And if you actually want to see it in play as well, you can actually see it in real time. Yeah. This is a video highlighting actual pilot who flew during Operation Desert Storm, and he shares, what it looked like to fly during some of their night missions. He actually captured images and different videos, and even talks about, how, this aircraft, the Corsair 2, was one of the oldest in the flight deck, but it was one of the ones that never got shot down. So it just shows you how even the older aircraft can still be very useful if it's, engineered right.
The craftsmanship is what's amazing to me because this was put together, I guess during this time they had different manufacturing standards, but for this to be put together and it's still to be intact like this, after having gone through several missions, it's phenomenal. That's an amazing thing. And then that's the engine back there?
So this is an engine. It's not for this one particular, but it just highlights here a different type of engine so you can learn more about a General Electric engine, J33 engine that this one is.
Yeah, J33. You all check that out. Please take a moment if you can. Go ahead and look on Google. What do you say?
That's the museum trick. It's like, oh yeah, that right there, that's a J33.
Yeah,
exactly. And it will be in our P-80. So we do have the P-80 Shooting Star that we didn't highlight as much, but that was the first operational jet fighter that we had in the U.S. So we highlight that story here.
Whoa, y'all
Shout
have
out
it?
to Skunkworks. Yeah, this is the P-80.
So right here, the 108 Navy.
Yep.
That's the first operational jet fighter.
Jet fighter, yes.
In the United States. You all, I don't know if you realize what you're looking at. This was during what era? Maybe the
so World War II.
World War
around that
II
time.
era. The first operational jet fighter.
Yes.
That's amazing. So it was flying fast and it was armed to be able to shoot.
Right, exactly.
That is incredible.
And going from flight like with the pioneers like the Wright brothers to getting them equipped to flying in something super fast. A lot of training had to go into it. But Kelly Johnson, the team at Skunkworks, Lockheed, they were able to get this ready for us to be able to end the war in the air instead of on the ground.
In there,
Shout out to Lockheed.
One more question here too with this suit right here, the orange suit. Before we go to another section, what is this here? Oh, we're looking at this eyes in the sky.
Yes, so we talk and highlight reconnaissance in our gallery, especially that's a big role needed when you are, in the military and things of that nature. So reconnaissance pilots play a huge role, and this shows kind of like what reconnaissance looked like back in the day. So this would be a camera that would be equipped in something similar to an aircraft we have in our gallery called the F-9 Cougar. This is a Fairchild camera, so you can actually see that this is a camera and the size of it. This is what they would use.
Old school camera.
Yes, pilots would be in the plane taking pictures, trying to get information that's happening on the ground, and they would risk their lives to take those photos.
Wow.
Luckily today we have unarmed aerial vehicles, also known as drones.
Yes.
So we don't have to have reconnaissance pilots risking their lives in the skies.
I'm glad I don't have to carry that camera around.
That's what I was about to say. Right? If you carry that, I don't know. You can see it one arm, but again, drones, unmanned vehicles now in the air makes it a lot easier.
Exactly.
You don't have to risk your life in the same manner, just to get photos.
Exactly.
And shout out to Dallas again.
Yes.
He's definitely risking a little bit of soreness, but it's all good. All right, so what we got next?
Yeah, so now we're moving more into our design area, engineering design area. We highlight engineering design throughout our gallery and in our makerspace, which we'll go to soon.
And on this channel.
Yes, and on this channel. But I do want to highlight a specific aircraft that talks about the importance of engineering and the design process. So this is the YF-102A, and it actually was a part of the story of reaching that supersonic flight like I talked about with the Sky Streak, but they couldn't initially reach supersonic flight with the first, creation and modification of the design. So they had to go back to the drawing boards and think of, get researchers and people to gather information on how they could allow this aircraft to reach supersonic flight because it was experiencing drag.
Yeah.
So we highlight Richard Whitcomb, and his face is actually on the wall above the Miracle on the Hudson aircraft wing. Yeah, that's Dr. Richard Whitcomb.
All right.
He actually came up with the area rule. So he thought of pinching in the fuselage of the aircraft, so like a Coke bottle.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with a glass Coke bottle. So he thought of that and called it the area rule. It became that rule, and they were able to do that, and that allowed it to reduce drag and reach supersonic flight. So we talk about how modifying design is very important as an engineer.
Yes.
Can I see that on the plane? Like, is it like the body's pinned in or something?
Yeah. If you look straight ahead, you can kind of see how.
Yeah, tell us, Chad. It's a little difficult on the camera.
Yeah, to see
but
it.
There's pretty much straight on.
Yeah, and I'll give you actually a blueprint of it, so you can see it a little better maybe on this blueprint. You can see it pinched in really well right here. So this is the blueprint of that aircraft.
Now you said the term drag, and I want to make sure you know it. Nova can drop like the actual technical definition, but drag is like the resistance.
Yes, that happens.
Right, the resistance that comes from the air as it's trying to go.
Yeah.
So they say here they created a nice pinch-in design of the fuselage there. Dr. Richard came up with that. So that now as the wing comes, it reduces the resistance. Now I imagine too, maybe that's why it's so come to a point there at the end too.
Right. They did make other modifications as well, like having a pointed nose helps with allowing it to speed up faster.
Yeah.
And even the delta wings as well, which a lot of aircraft still have to this day.
That is a sweet design. If you think that's dope, go ahead and drop some fire, some emotes in the chat. Because that is amazing. That is an example of optimizing engineering design. Exactly. If I had my explainer cam, I would be all over it right now. But thank y'all so much for hanging out.
All right, and I'm going to put you to the engineering design challenge.
Oh, you're going to design? Oh, so here it is. We don't have to worry about explainer cam. Exactly. She's going to put me to the challenge. All right, so how does this work? What are we going to design?
So this is called the aircraft design challenge. So you're going to either create an ultimate fighter jet, high capacity cargo plane, or efficient commercial airliner.
Ooh, we're going to go fighter jet. Can we go fighter jet, chat? I'm going to go fighter jet.
Nice.
Let's do fighter jet. All right. So here's what we need. Now, we need low everything. We need to go fast.
Yes, we need to go fast. So these are your specs right here. So that's important. As an engineer, this is your goal, okay?
So my weight needs to be low, my speed needs to be high, my fuel efficiency low, and interior space. So I'm not worried about space. I'm going to go super slender and streamlined.
Okay,
all right? We're going to pinch it in a little bit. All right? So what do I do next?
Now you click what wing you want.
All right. Chat, I don't know if I can't see you right now. Matter of fact, I can't see you if I pull you out. But I'm going to go ahead and try to do this solo. This is a solo flight. What do you want to with it? Shout out to
I keep like showing the screen. I'm like, screen, me, screen, me.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. So after we get our delta wings, we're gonna look at the nose. All right,
engine. Okay.
Engine. Ooh. So propeller. That's a bit too much. We don't want propeller.
Okay.
It's gonna be between turbofan or turbojet.
Okay.
The turbojet is kind of big.
Okay. Remember, once you click it, you can look at the specs that it comes with and see if it matches
up. So like, let me just look at this. So we got speed fast.
Okay.
But it's pretty heavy. Low. All right, cool. Okay. Turbojet. Very fast. Like, boom. See, listen. So we're gonna go there.
And last but not least, the doors. You gotta get out some way.
All right, we gotta get out. We gotta get out some kind of way. We're not doing a driving door. We're not having a whole lot. The multi doors is a whole lot. Aircraft canopy. That's that, right?
Yeah, it looks similar to that one.
It looks very similar to that.
All right.
And I think we can test. Y'all ready to test? Let's give it a shot.
Let's test it
Let's see if my engineering degree is going to pass the test here.
Right. Do we need to take back that degree?
Oh, please don't take it back down and see.
Oh,
hey!
But guess what? Even if you didn't pass, it allows you to go back and modify your design.
Go back to the process.
Yes, you get a second chance as an engineer. Yes.
Let's clap it up, everybody.
And lastly, before we go, so you can build it. It'll just add some paint, some nice little artwork to it. About this is you can also share it to yourself by text or email. And
I can send this to myself.
Yeah, you'll get a postcard.
Awesome. Is this the one? Is this the one? My phone
number.
We're gonna dox him. Well, hang on. We can't show his phone number,
y'all. You can get some prank calls.
Enjoy this aircraft.
I start getting, it's already political season. I don't want any more text. Please leave me alone. All right.
It would just be vote for turbofan, though.
Vote for turbofan. There we go.
Are we good?
Yeah. We got it. It's going to sit in myself. And is that the jet that I get the keys to that y'all told me in the pre-show?
Right. That's that postcard you get is the key.
Okay.
That's the key.
I hope so. All right. awesome. I didn't know that you had a design challenge there.
Yeah,
that's cool.
we
That's
do.
why you all got to come out
Right.
and check that out. That was
right.
pretty cool.
And then beyond that, in this area as well, we have someone, a guest playing. Now you can take a personality quiz to see what aircraft you are. So we have some aircraft we have. It highlights what your personality is. That was the right.
That would have been my guess.
Innovative, you know. But yeah, so you can take that personality quiz and also text or email it to yourself and get a postcard saying that you completed it and what aircraft you are.
What would you say DOS is behind the camera? What kind of?
I would say maybe some type of fighter jet.
Fighter jet.
Yeah.
Shout out to DOS.
I feel like a cargo plane right
I feel like a cargo plane right now.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And then lastly, this screen that we have here in our gallery highlights the future aircraft of today.
Yeah.
So you can actually see some blueprints and some, ideas that are being thought of with aviation.
That. Urban high-speed helicopter.
Right. Even thinking of how we can do urban transport as just and fly to work instead of driving to work, maybe,
Ooh.
So allowing us to get out of that traffic
this
like you were in.
Space plane. So I'm going to tell you why this is so dope, right? So this looks like, all right, affordable space travel. Now, I told you earlier about, on the plug, I told you about our 4-part escape room.
Yes.
We have 4 days where we're going to be doing a number of engineering puzzles,
right.
And our players in real life and you all on chat, on Twitch, will be able to solve these problems, right? We have our final day where we're trying to go into aerospace, aviation, and aerospace, and aeronautical engineering.
Yes.
And this looks like something that will probably exist by the year 3K. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, well, the Dream Chaser
the
is
Dream
real.
Chaser is real. It's at the Cape for testing right now. They just
they're
transported
testing
it down a little bit ago. We did some pieces on it.
And this is the idea of how it would come from Earth.
The International
That
Space
is
Station.
incredible.
You got it.
All right. So we'll have something even better.
Shout out to Sierra Space.
Yes.
Sierra Space. Das knows all about that. And NASA, for sure. Shout out to NASA again. Das, another shout out to NASA.
Always.
Yes. Okay, are we getting closer to the...
Yes. We're at the heart of our gallery.
The heart of the gallery.
In the heart of our gallery and also our namesake, Captain Sullenberger, we highlight Flight 1549.
Yes.
So if you're not familiar, on January 1549, a plane had an emergency landing on the Hudson River. That in our gallery because they were headed to Charlotte and it now is in its home place that it was meant to go to. But we highlight the story. Yes, a lot of people don't know that. Yeah, they were going from LaGuardia in New York to Charlotte, North Carolina. They were headed there that day. And a lot of the passengers still live in the area. They come back briefly and talk about and share their experience. But beyond that too, we highlight just the importance of knowing aircraft, especially as a you have to have, the skilled training you have to have at working in aviation as a flight crew. So we highlight that here, and even the engineering behind this aircraft. Yeah. So right here behind us, or if you're looking at the aircraft, you look at it from behind.
I had a question, and I want to ask you. And by the way, you all can keep your questions coming in, especially as we're at the heart of the gallery. And I see you, Broken Symmetry herself. No, everyone, keep your questions coming in. Look at none of the passengers died.
No,
right?
None of the passengers.
And it was an emergency. None of the crew died, and it happened as a result of both engines went out.
Yes.
As a result of birds.
Flock of birds. Yes.
Flock of
Canadian
birds.
geese.
Canadian geese, and those
big
are
birds.
Big birds.
Yeah, right. Those are not your small birds.
No,
not pigeons.
And so that's why they had to do the emergency landing.
Exactly.
And so now we're about to look at the condition of it.
Right. Exactly.
All right, go ahead.
And where it is to this day.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Nehemiah was saying, all 155 lives were saved that day, and that led to a mixture of things, due to a mixture of things, like one of them being the engineering of this aircraft. A lot of people look at it and ask us, is this a replica of the aircraft? But no, this is the actual aircraft, and they're kind of surprised at how mostly it still is intact. It is some damage in the back, as you can see. You might think, oh, there's a missing part to the aircraft.
It's not missing.
But it's not missing. It's right here.
This is the part that came off on the back.
Yeah, you did. I like it. You sound good, don't it? Right. So the auxiliary power unit, that's what that missing part is that you might have saw. But it actually played a critical role in why this aircraft was able to sustain enough to land Sullenberger turned this on, the auxiliary power unit on, out of order on the checklist that's recommended by the National Transportation Safety Board.
Yeah.
And he did so because he knew after flying this aircraft so much, after being such a skilled pilot, that turning this on would provide backup, power and help provide that critical backup needed in order to land on the Hudson River. So
landed on the river, y'all.
Yes.
Yeah. So are there things that, like, I'm sure there are things we probably learned from this, right? Going back to the engineering design process of how to deal with emergency landings and even situations like this that were very rare, I understand, but where both engines could go out at the same time.
Exactly.
And so this was the emergency power at the time. Like you said, out of order in the checklist.
Right.
But now I think there's probably more training and things that go into situations like this.
Yep. And after that incident, they were able to realize this needed to be higher up in the checklist. So, even though it was, a tragic situation that happened, it did lead to, better procedures being taking place in aviation to make us able to fly safer. So
this is almost an airplane spotting sort of thing. So if you're at the airport, or if you're like at an airport overlook, like there's one here at Charlotte where you can see the planes taken off.
Not too far from here.
Look at the tail of the plane, the big passenger planes. Like right here, you see that there's the rest of the plane and the part that's sort of missing. Watch for the little exhaust on the back of the plane, because every now and then you may see exhaust coming out, not from the engine, but from the tail. And that's a normal thing for that to happen when they have the APU engaged, because it's just an auxiliary power unit.
Exactly.
Look for that. When you go to the airport, like you come to Charlotte Airport or any airport,
do some plane spotting.
See if you can spot an APU exhaust.
Plane spotting. This is Airbus. I think it was an Airbus design
Yes,
plane?
Airbus is the manufacturer behind this aircraft.
Okay, got
So this is an A320, this specific.
A320.
Yes.
Incredible. So this thing, and I'm just going around looking because I'm imagining, Dynasty, this just sitting on the river.
Yes.
And so are planes usually designed to be able to land on rivers?
So they're designed to be able to sustain for a little while on the river in case of emergency water landings, because sometimes that is the best situation or scenario that the pilot land on water. But they're not, due to the engines and coming off, one of the engines actually detached during the landing. It wasn't going to sustain for too long. So being in New York was a miracle in itself as well, because they had so many different, people able to come and rescue them and have those rescue operations ready to go.
Now, I'm just thinking emotionally from a standpoint of being in this plane, right? And you hear, all of it, because we all experience turbulence. And turbulence is like rough air, right? But this is totally different than regular turbulence. You have this flock that took out the engines, and now this plane is trying to land, and you're just on there. So this is why, again, Captain Sully is a hero in so many respects, because lives were saved by this plane being really piloted in a way that everyone could safely survive.
Exactly.
And I didn't know it connected to Charlotte like that, so that was a really good thing. I just learned.
It's a part of Charlotte history.
And the people you said come back and talk a lot about it.
We just come back on Sunday. So every fourth Sunday we have passenger talks. A passenger will come back and speak on their experience. So you can learn from their point of view.
Got it. All right, so do we have a picture of Captain Sully?
We do. So actually, like I said, their faces all around our gallery. When their faces around the gallery, their story is usually being told in that area. So Captain Sullenberger is right on this side of the aircraft. You can actually see his face in the middle, in the heart of our gallery.
Yeah, right there. That's Captain Sullenberger.
That's Captain Sully with the captain hat on.
Oh, man. Salute again and shout out.
And we also are in an area because Captain Sullenberger is a big, advocate for it as well. And also as a museum, that's one of our missions, is to educate guests. So we highlight and have a lot of educational opportunities all throughout our museum. And one of them is flight simulators. So we are in the Mastering the Skies area. You gotta check that one out. So we have 3 flight simulators. And on the flight simulators, you can fly. There are 2 that are Cessnas, and a Cessna is like a typical aircraft you would fly when you're training to become a pilot. And actually, the 2 Cessnas are located in Charlotte on the flight simulator, so you can actually fly past your house.
Hold on. Am I about to crash? I don't want to.
You got it.
Oh, there we go. We back
you saved it.
Okay, I didn't know if it was actually on or not.
Circles.
I didn't know if it was on. I didn't know if
it's
this
like the
was
passenger running to the cockpit to take over the controls.
Okay.
Dr. Neal sits down.
Okay, I think I need a little help here.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to.
Terrain.
Oh, okay.
See,
Don't look at that chat.
First time.
Everybody
but guess
falls the
what?
first time.
You can reset.
Yeah.
So, flight simulators is for, simulating flight, not real flight.
Exactly. But people can come and master the sky.
Exactly. And this is actually located in Charlotte, so you can actually be on the runway that's right outside of our museum.
Oh, these skies are Charlotte skies?
Yeah, these are Charlotte skies.
You can fly to my house if you turn to the left.
Right.
I'm kidding.
I might need to get back to Raleigh on this simulator.
It'd probably be faster than driving.
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
So in this area as well is where we highlight key requirements, not only having fun in the simulators, but also key requirements to becoming a pilot, like, having certain things like good teamwork and communication skills, being able to have awareness when flying, because that's all important. And one of the reasons also why Flight 1549 was able to, have that emergency landing due to the skill set of Captain Sullenberger. So
yes. And chat has seen me play a lot of games here, and if they came here, they could try this for themselves. But it's the goal to land?
Yes, the goal is to land. So you can see the runway near
and I can just speed up. All right, I won't take too much longer. I'm just going to go ahead and get these people here.
We have a control guide.
You're going to do it live?
No. I'm gonna get them home safely. Okay. You all go ahead and follow Dynasty.
Okay.
And make sure everybody can get home safely. All right.
Nice.
I'll be on here in a second.
Like,
okay.
10 minutes later, look, they successfully landed.
Oh no!
We did it. Don't worry, you all missed it.
If only there was a convenient river nearby.
We made it out safely.
All right, nice.
All right. And then we also have a Cessna in our gallery. So
Cessna
after flying it virtually, you can sit inside of it in real timing. So,
that's the same plane I was just flying.
Yes, that is.
That I just successfully
it might be a more
totally
newer
successfully
version.
flew.
Yeah, totally successfully. That's the one.
That's the one he flew there.
Yeah, okay, nice. This is a propeller plane.
Exactly. Yep. And most pilots, like I said, would start off training to become a pilot by flying in this with the pilot and the instructor both inside. That's something that you could sit inside and actually get a good experience learning more about.
This is so cool. I got a question. I know we're going to come around.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the chat. And again, chat, if y'all have questions, you can put in there. But I saw a question asked earlier. If I'm jumping ahead, please let me know. By the way, Broken Simmers, you said that Sully smile. Everyone's talking about the smile there.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, we got a nice shout out to Das in the chat. Someone asked about a specific plane. What was the plane that someone asked about? I think it was...
There were some folks asking you to design different planes back when we were at the design thing.
That's what it was.
You got to come back. If you want to see a cargo plane or commercial airliner design, you got to come.
FA-18 Hornet?
FA-18 Hornet.
Does that ring a bell? Okay.
Yeah, we don't have the FA-18 Hornet. But you can
people were giving you real-time feedback on how to fly the plane.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nice. They were trying to help you out.
That was happening.
Retroactively, we'll see if we can do something there, but it's a live stream, so I don't know.
I got a couple questions here. Can I ask a couple questions real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Doc.
How long did it take to recover the aircraft from the water?
It took a lot of time. I think like over 20 hours to recover. And we actually have a video, which I can show when we walk down this side, of them recovering it from the Hudson. But like you can see when you watch the film that plays every 15 minutes on the hour, they talk about how cold it was in New York during that time. It was in January. So all of the ice and all of that, they had to have so many people rescue that aircraft from the river after it completely sunk into the river. So.
Yeah. So another question, this is more of a comment. Kevin Michael Reed watched the plane float down the Hudson from the roof of his studio.
Oh, wow.
He lived in New York. He saw that plane. That's the plane right there behind you.
Yeah, watch the plane float. Wow.
It's the big one, not the little Cessna there, but the big one in the background.
Yeah.
U.S. Airways.
Yep, U.S. Airways, now known as American Airlines.
Yes, now known as American Airlines.
Yeah.
A modern miracle. Yeah,
a modern miracle.
One more question here. How long has the museum been open?
So we reopened officially on June 1st to the public. You're catching us kind of still near our grand reopening.
Yes. We got in pretty early, y'all. We are in here on this virtual tour. And in case you haven't already, now's a good time to hit the follow button because we are eyeing more followers on our Twitter channel. Shout out to Das and the whole community and all the people that put in the questions and the comments. We really appreciate you all's engagement. Das, you're laughing at something.
Another comment in chat. I'm totally out of the loop. Why is DOS live next to Sully's plane? It's because we're here doing a virtual field trip today.
Yes, that is what we're doing right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm with Dynasty, and this is the Sullenberger
Aviation Museum.
Museum. They opened up their doors to us today. So keep the comments coming, keep the engagement. I think we have some more things to see here in the main hangar.
Sure, yes.
While we walk, one more suggestion. They asked if there was a simulator where you could try to land the plane in the Hudson.
So there is. We actually have a screen, the one that's further on the left. You can fly an A330. So similar to the A320, a little bit different, but you can fly an A330 and you're in LaGuardia, so where they actually were. So maybe you can be able to find the Hudson River and actually mimic what happened and get
turn
out
off your
safely.
engines and then try to land safely.
I don't know if you.
But this is crazy. Even before we go to the other one too, here somewhere we didn't get to see the wing, the same type of perspectives we have here.
Yes.
And it's kind of the rip through here. That is It's amazing that they got.
And most of the damage is from the recovery process.
Okay.
The birds, of course, had most of the damage when it came to the engines.
Yeah.
But most of the damage you see is from the recovery process, or from the ferry boats coming in so fast trying to rescue the passengers that they did bump into the aircraft a little bit. Okay. But they were coming in.
But at least they were on it. They were on it,
yes,
right?
They were ready.
And again, before we move on, I'm just seeing this side because this side is really. This is just a most amazing story. Yeah. Some of the engines actually fully ingested the bird. I mean, it's kind of gruesome, but the bird, were there like actual bird remains, I guess, inside of the plane?
No, because they did catch on fire and things of that nature. Okay. After the investigation, they did do DNA barcoding, so we actually highlight what that looks like to be an investigator and the process of DNA barcoding when things like this happen. Yeah. But were able to find out there were at least 2 birds that were ingested into each engine, and the rest of them maybe got out, but they did hit the plane in certain areas, you can see that.
And this is some of the images, I guess, of the everything. These are the type of the Canadian geese.
Yes.
That we're referring to when we say birds here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man! And then there's a picture of the engine when they actually retrieved it from the Hudson River.
Yeah, this is the one that actually completely fell off, so they had to go and rescue it after it fell off.
This is actually interesting here because it talks about the recommended daily allowance of bird that your engine can ingest. Like that's actually something that they test and engineer. Like how many small birds, how many medium birds, how many large birds can actually enter the engine before it shuts down, I guess, or sustains, what was the right way to say it? Sustains critical damage.
Right, exactly, yes.
That's crazy. That's
they think about that.
Yeah, another thing I talked about, what we can learn from this, right? They were able to see, okay, what is the appropriate daily diet, or the limit, if you will, of birds to be ingested.
Yes,
and then there are obviously some pictures here that looks like there are, what are these, like some letters and some items that were...
So this is a digital time capsule of the time frame on the Hudson, and the passengers sharing what they took away from that day, maybe a card that they were given, the actual headset from the air traffic controller as he shares his narrative as well. So if you just want to learn more about the passengers and what they decided to donate to share to our museum, it's here. Yeah. And these are cards that have been given to Captain Sullenberger from over time, letters and cards of people just showing their appreciation for his, him doing his job that day and being such, a hero in his own right.
American hero.
During that time.
Okay, all right. This is great. You got to come if you really want to just bask in, again, the aura of this entire experience, which is an amazing thing. I hope you all check out online.
Right.
I want to go ahead and ask you again about this because I know we have more things to
vertical flight.
We got to talk about vertical flight here. All right, so what do we have on the side?
So innovation is not limited.
I can't fit this in frame.
I know, you're not going to be able to.
I'm going to go down here and see if I can fit it.
Largest helicopter.
And maybe you can get an angle of the propellers. Like those are crazy. Okay.
Yes, they're folded back
because
to give
vertical,
some space.
Think helicopters, right?
Yes, vertical flight helicopters. So, of course, with fixed wing aircraft, there are great things that it can do, but then there's also some limitations. And Igor Sikorsky is the manufacturer behind many of the helicopters we have in our gallery, was a pioneer for modern helicopters. And he thought of, with fixed wing aircraft, the limitations that could come with it, such as with safety, and showing signs even with, in future wars that after the development of some of his helicopters helped rescue thousands of lives, like we'll see and talk about with the Vietnam War. So helicopters help definitely definitely with safety, and even we're brought back into civilian life as well, to now where we have medical evacuation, having those helicopters work for our, you know, healthcare systems, allowing for people to get critical care in the air.
Yeah, airlifted to wherever they get their care.
Exactly.
Man, I didn't realize those are so huge. These are massive.
Yeah, and the CH-53 has a cool story too, because like I said, it was once the world's largest helicopter. They're actually designing a more updated model of the CH-53 right in Jacksonville, North Carolina. They're called the King's Crew, so the Marines out there are on developing this aircraft and helping. It will be the world's largest helicopter again, and having that heavy lift, allowing up to like thousands onto the helicopter.
On the helicopter.
Right.
And all these different ones, are there different, so I see Marines on the side of this one.
Yes.
What are the differences here as we go down the line and look at these?
Yeah, so shout out to our collections team at the museum. They do a great job in restoring a lot of our aircraft. A lot of our aircraft did not come looking like this right away.
So they restored it.
But they restored it, and they restore it into the scheme or the paint scheme that highlights the story in that area. So what you'll see a lot of times will highlight, so like this one, the CH-46C Knight, back behind me says Marines on it, and it highlights actually Mike Clausen, who space is above the Vietnam Glass Showcase over there. He actually received the Medal of Honor for his bravery as a Marine and being in a mission and escaping, getting out, even though he was ordered not to leave the this actual aircraft that we have in our gallery. He left out of it multiple times in order to save fellow Marines and help get them when they were in a mine.
Which aircraft was it?
This is the CH-46C Knight.
The actual aircraft?
Yes, the actual aircraft in where he went and rescued other Marines.
And you can see where, I guess, things can be driven up
inside.
here on the back.
And these are the seats they would sit inside.
The seats they would sit in?
Inside of it,
Man, oh my goodness.
This is the actual one he was in
during
that time in Vietnam War.
This is so cool, chat. You got to be here. You got to be here. This is amazing. I feel like I'm in the middle of a movie or something right now. When I look at this.
I mean, you know.
Well, it's meta.
Cameras, lights, there's like props, artifacts, whichever one.
Right. But then again, you're speaking about vertical flight. So again, thinking helicopters where someone can take off going straight up into the air. And then there's a forward movement. And I got a feeling that changes the design a little bit too.
Exactly. All right. Speaking of that mixture, we actually have an aircraft in our gallery called the Harrier II, and it has the capability of flying like a fixed-wing aircraft, and also hovering, taking off, and landing vertically.
This one right here?
And so this has the mixture. It's the best of both worlds. So this is the Harrier II, and we actually also have a video here where you can listen to the story.
I was just about to say, nobody has to drop a link for this, because the Harrier II, that sounds amazing. Okay, let's see.
So these are the pilots who actually help with flying the Harrier II. It is sunsetting, meaning the program is ending. They're no longer making any more Harrier IIs, unfortunately, but the design is still being thought of in the future.
So what it means, though, again, just so it can take off like a helicopter.
Like a helicopter.
So here's a nice image. So it lifts up like a helicopter, and then when it gets to the altitude desired, it then can move forward.
Right, it can fly at supersonic speeds.
Supersonic. So how does that happen, though? Is it the change in the engine operation?
So it's the change in the engine, and it highlights here how it masters it all through its air intake, through the thrust, the turbofan engine generating 22,000 pounds of thrust.
This is crazy.
So it's a very cool aircraft to look
at. Air comes in here through the engine, and it uses it, it presses it down,
and take it down,
to get this lift vertically. But then these rotate.
These can rotate.
So these rotate, and now it can go. But again, the power is so massive that it flies at supersonic speed.
Supersonic speeds.
Oh my goodness! So now that they sunset this, how much are they going to go for online? I'm just curious.
You'll have to look into that. I'm sure
we'll chip in, chat.
I'm sure it'll be a lot.
Crowdfund, right? And we can do a nice stream.
Decommissioned Harrier.
Right.
That is awesome, man. This is so cool. Like, man, that stuff. Again, movies for sure. And then you have a whole is this basically one of the engines?
You think this is an engine?
No, it's a propeller, but I mean...
it's a drone.
What
if I told you that was a drone? This is the dash drone. So this drone was actually one of the first operational drones used in the military for anti-submarine warfare.
Yeah.
So it was during the time of Vietnam War and the 60s. things of that nature. But this would be the control panel where someone would be controlling the drone. And
so that's like the remote control for a drone like
and then it would lift off. So yeah, you can actually see a picture of someone who was actually operating it during that time. But this is the QH-50 drone.
So those are the type of drones I'm used to seeing right there.
Exactly.
Right?
So we've come a long way.
Guys, you see, like that's the drone that comes to my mind.
Right.
Not something that basically like a helicopter in and of itself.
I zoomed in on the control pads.
Right. Like I can ride on this drone. I can literally ride on this drone.
It looks like something that James Bond would be riding.
For
that
sure.
one movie where he goes into the volcano crater.
Exactly. So
and get right where I need to go and just kind of glide. Have something similar to one of those Wright gliders on my back and just kind of glide to where I need to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Those torpedoes underneath it?
That's what I'm saying. Like they look like they can. So now we know the scale of the drones that we hear about when we hear about even drone strikes and things of that nature, right?
Exactly.
There are things of this size.
Yes.
What year was that from?
So during the period of like Vietnam War, around like the 1960s. And things
remote controlled.
Yes. Drones from back
helicopters,
done
like
back
a
then,
coaxial rotor helicopter drone during the Vietnam War, carrying torpedoes.
Yes. So I know that we had a little window chat that we wanted to get the stream in, and we're going to see another space that you all really do a lot about, encouraging STEM education and things of that nature. But before we kind of exit out this area, I see an entire wall here that just again gave me sort of that Hollywood flair here. Right. So these are what, collectibles?
Yeah, collectibles. Things have been donated to our gallery, and it talks about the cultural reach of aviation, and even also how service and safety has changed over time in aviation. So we have a variety of uniforms from stewardess, also known as flight attendants now, what their uniforms look like back in the day, and now what it looks like in the 2020s. So you can see that over here.
Wow. All of the old marketing materials. Uniforms, Pete, my airlines. That's a little bit of history there for you all to check it out. Pan Am, of course, we hear a lot about that in movies and in media like that. All right, so when you really quick, go ahead.
No, so I was just going to mention now we're in our second theme that I mentioned earlier about aviation society. So how I mentioned we have Innovation Nation and then Aviation Society, highlighting the spirit of of aviation, the people behind aviation, all the stories, and in particular Carolina. So we highlight North Carolina, South Carolina stories, and actually interview them and share their stories here in our gallery.
We stay fly in the Carolinas. We stay fly, right?
We do.
We stay fly. All right. So this is a nice little screen showing North and South Carolina.
I'll show you how it works. So this screen allows 4 people to use it at a time, actually. It's a Carolina aerospace industry map, so you can actually toggle it. This is my little joystick right here. So I'm going to go over in Charlotte, since that's where we are right now. I'll move by moving this left or right.
And you said more people can, so I can do this.
And it won't interrupt the screen. So while you're doing that, I can do this. And you can click on the icon. So we highlight commercial companies, military bases, training facilities. The commercial company I just highlighted, I'm going to do this one right here, over in this area. All right, UTC Aerospace Systems provides aerospace solutions. So you can just learn more about companies located right here in Charlotte, North Carolina, or even in South Carolina.
And I went to Raleigh because that's where I'm from.
That's where
we got some training. Anybody out there want to train and learn how to fly a plane better than I did on a simulator, you can do so at North Carolina State University as well. Go Pack. Just have to slide that in there. All right. And all these are, and by the way, Dynasty, because I think this connects again to the STEM education. You got like a lot of different career paths or jobs that people can actually go into and be a part of the aerospace industry, even right here in North Carolina.
They're highlighted here on this wall as a background, but you can actually listen to virtual interviews that our team has taken over time of people who work in the industry right here in North Carolina or South Carolina. So we have 2 different screens. You pick up an ear cup, put it on your ear, and click on anybody's interview. You might have noticed some of their faces around the wall, but you can listen to their story. He just clicked on Captain Cricket Harper. She's actually a part of the King's Crew, the CH-53K that they're working on in Jacksonville. So you can listen to so many different stories and hear about how they got into their career and how you can also possibly be a part of it as well.
Captain Hopper is dropping some serious game right now.
You gotta learn about them from them. You're getting the sources right there.
So is there a place where, because you were telling me about like you allow kids to come in and actually get their hands dirty and figuratively and actually build and make things like that?
Right now.
All right, so we're going to the
makerspace.
A makerspace, right? So again, as I've already told you all, this is your virtual makerspace. They actually have a real makerspace here.
Yes.
That we're going to go check out here in just a little bit.
Shout out to Honeywell, thank you.
Quick technical note: when you go through the doors, the stream may drop for a second. So if it goes all pixely or the audio sounds weird, when we switch over, we might have a little technical hiccup.
Okay.
Yeah. You all know that. You all know that. So bear with us right now. We're going to go to the makerspace.
All right.
Honeywell Makerspace?
Yes.
Oh.
We're a little busy.
Okay, we'll try not to interrupt anybody's. Here on this wall, you have a lot of things that people have made.
Right. These are some cardboard creations. So in our makerspace is where we like to inspire guests to be creative, innovate, create things that they think. So we give them some. But they want to create their own things. So we have people that have made runways out of cardboard and tape and paper, just daily essential items. But we let them know using even the simplest items, you can build so many amazing things. So
and then you have a lot of different materials here.
Yeah. So highlighting careers, we have these cards that you can take home that talk about a task that you can create, possible materials that you can use. Like air cargo, science, and wildlife. So any career you're interested in always plays a role in aviation as well.
This is the type of place that, again, if you're into making things and going through the engineering design process. Here, let me show you right here on the screen here. You have the engineering design process. I had to show you all this because this is definitely relevant to our channel again, where you identify, you look at your challenge, you explore, you design, then you actually create what you design. You try it out, which is like testing it, right? And then ultimately you improve it. Right? That's life in a nutshell.
Exactly.
Life according to engineering, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's exactly what that is.
Exactly.
And this entire space is really cool. What are these little tubes over here?
These tubes right here?
Yeah.
So this is our wind tunnel that I was talking about that we have at
This is the actual wind tunnel?
Yes. So it can get a little noisy, but I'll turn it on for you guys.
All right, she's about to show us how it works. All right,
Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. But you press this button to activate it, and then a loud noise will come up. That's just the air coming on. There we go. You ball up the scarf into your hand like this, and this is the door where you put it in. So you put your hand up, let it go loose,
I can't keep up with that.
and catch the scarf.
Hold on, that was too smooth.
Wait,
that was
you gotta do that again.
Did you see
that?
Let's see if you can do this smooth.
Okay, all right. This thing went through all, so put it in there.
Yeah, okay. So you want to see your hand go all the way up and then let it go.
And then let it go here?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh, had to do a two-hand grab there. She did a nice little win. So this wind tunnel again is similar, I guess not similar, but similar in principle to what the Wright brothers used when they were testing different things.
Exactly. It just gets our guests thinking of air movement and how it works, because that's big in aerospace. It will be on for a few minutes, so
it'll go off pretty soon.
Yeah, bear with us with the
sound.
So
they have a lot of cool things in here.
Yeah.
But there seems to be another spot over here where you can actually test
you want to try it out? So we also have launchers in our gallery, in our makerspace.
Okay.
So we have an airplane launcher, which is in the green, then a rocket launcher in the blue. And then the goal is to make it into one of those targets that you'll see up in the sky wallpaper, and you're going to see your actual creation take flight.
So it's Rocket right here.
Right.
Familiar face. This is outrageous. So here, I put it on this nozzle here.
Exactly.
And then how does this work? Am I going to...
You'll pressurize it, so adding that pressure can go all the way up to 90 PSI.
So I'm raising the pressure there. All the way up to 90?
Yep.
All right.
90 PSI.
This goes for max, out of the gate.
Yeah, we're just going to max out.
Yeah,
full throttle. And then this button right here helps me to turn it a little bit.
Helps you turn it left, right.
It aims it with the joystick.
Up and down, yeah.
And so, Dynasty, my goal is to try to maybe hit one of my targets.
Call your shot. Which
one?
I'm going yellow.
All right, the smallest one.
Oh! Okay,
well, at least you took flight.
I took flight.
Yes, test and revise.
Take two.
But this is
the air,
similar.
Yes.
Okay, let me do one more pressurized. And we're going to see if I can it nice and high because I can adjust. I'm going to iterate, right? You test and you improve.
Right.
If you don't get it, Dynasty's going to do it.
I will, and I'm not saying I'll get it, but I think I will.
Nice.
No, it had a little turn.
I hope that my failures have given you all confidence to always give it a shot. All right, go ahead, Dynasty.
Okay.
And I'm going to see how this one works here after
All right.
after
I'll show you how it works. All right, so I'm going to go for the green. Let's see.
You going to go for the green?
Yeah.
Tell me before you shoot.
All right.
Pressurizing.
Pressure.
Maximizing it too.
Maximizing. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, a little bit above.
All right, so
close.
that is air pressurized. That's how you're launching.
Yes,
right.
through air pressure.
Air is coming out of here.
Exactly.
And pressing, adding pressure to the inside of those rockets.
Yeah.
This is a little different, right? Because you have like these two little wheels here, I see.
Yes, that will help generate that thrust in order for your airplane to fly out, your paper airplane.
Have you made one of these before? I've gotten in trouble throwing and making these before, Dynasty.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
You won't get in trouble in our
I won't get in trouble here?
No,
all
you
right,
won't get in trouble.
Make sure. So I'm going to set this here.
Yep. Right through the middle.
Air in the middle.
And you want to put it closer to the top.
To the top, okay. And then ready
to help generate, help warm it up, the machine. And then you'll use that black joystick again to help aim it.
Okay.
Yeah. Which one are you going for this time?
I'm going to go for
okay, red.
Let's see.
All right.
And
then launch. Oh!
See?
I wanted to fly back.
There's a flip for style.
I think it's a design. I think it's a design thing. So I have designed like what do you call darts?
Yes, darts.
Those go straight. All right.
Okay.
Here it is.
Here's the dart.
Right.
Look at that one. Yeah.
This looks like the one that got me detention. I think. Let me be honest with you. But no detention here.
Okay, I'll try to do a rocket while you do that one.
You gonna do the rocket?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try to do it at the same time.
All right.
Let me see. Let me get.
So you're gonna get the pressurized rocket.
Yep. I'll pressurize.
I'm gonna ready it.
Yep.
It's already ready. The noise is ready.
Yep. And then you'll just move it to make sure it aims correctly.
All right.
I'm gonna aim for green.
Green.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna.
Yep. 1, 2, 3. Block.
Hey!
Nice.
On top. We did not script that. We both nailed it. Yeah, you know what I mean? I got through the red, she got through the green, and you all got through this awesome tour with us. To know that, hey, there's a lot more to this that they could have seen if they were here in person, right?
Exactly. Check it out.
There's a whole bunch of specific questions about the plane, like how do they recover engines filled with water?
Oh, okay.
Because it would have been filled with water and weighed a lot more.
So can we answer some of those really quick? Chat,
Sure.
we want to get you all. Was the plane filled with water when they rescued it from the Hudson?
Yeah, so like I said, it landed in on the river, and then it actually sunk all the way down to the river, to the bottom of the river. So you can imagine it was completely filled with water. So our after the investigation, they had to do a lot of help with that, and our collections team helps to sustain the aircraft to this day. So they go back often and help with maintaining it, making sure it's still available for you guys to come and visit. So.
Yeah. And what was another? Did we get another question?
Yeah.
Well, the other thing was that I'm supposed to do a rocket launch, but my hands are totally full right now.
Hey, listen,
I'll come back.
You want me to come around?
No, I'm wearing all the gear.
All right,
Look, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to make my own rocket because there's sort of a vertical assembly stick over here.
Yeah.
I'll make my own rocket.
He's gonna make it. Can we give him a shot of you? People want to see that wonderful familiar
Here, I can. Hang on. There's a cable on it. Be careful. Look.
Okay. Right here.
Oh, that works.
There you go. Hey, there's Das, everybody.
I am behind.
Love to Das. Das, thank you so much. And can y'all do me a favor and give a big, huge Nova Building Stuff thank you to Dynasty.
Thank you guys
for giving us an amazing tour. Yes. They are located where again?
Charlotte, North Carolina, right by the airport, Charlotte Douglas Airport.
Listen, and I know because I had a lot of traffic getting here, but this is where they are. It's a lot of air traffic and ground traffic, but it's worth the trip. So again,
definitely
show some love.
Thank you guys. Thank you for coming and joining us. And remember, reach the skies.
Reach the skies. Reach the skies. Now, I'm going to see what I can do really quick, but I want to make sure you all know that we have 2 more streams this week. We stream again every single day right here on Nova Building Stuff. Tomorrow we have a great friend, Justin Schaefer, who's going to be talking about virtual production. And if you can see the schedule on the screen, there's going to be a lot of talking about virtual production. We're going to look at Day in the Life on Mars. You don't want to miss that tomorrow. And then on Friday, I'm telling you, you're also in for another great stream. As we stream under the title, Where Does My Poop Go? When I flush the toilet. We have an environmental engineer who's going to be showing us and walking us through the entire process. So you're welcome to join us. Okay. You all are welcome to join us as well right here on Building Stuff with Nova. And I normally say keep building as we log off, but I'm going to use your sign off again today. Reach for the what?
Skies.
Reach for the skies. Reach for the skies. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you tomorrow on Building Stuff with Nova. Peace.